Okay, let's not delay anymore. Let's just jump right into it. Let's get this top portion off. And of course, we have a gaming-centric front panel loading. All right, nothing on the back here. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And here is the phone. This is the black edition. There are a couple of other ones, but this black edition has green trim, which makes it look pretty dope. And even then, the way that the back is designed is just meant to be ergonomically better for players. If you were to be playing this in the landscape orientation, you have a place to rest some of your fingers because there are these grooves and there are these little bumps that are on the back due to the center line. Get this flap open, you have your SIM tool. Oh, and there's actually a case in here. That's great. So this little clear case is going to help with some grip. It still contours to the way that the back is constructed. That way you still get those little areas that you could rest your fingers, and it's going to be easier on the hands. Black Shark is looking to be a gaming brand, so this is one step forward in just their branding, that they want people that are fans of the company to actually rep it properly. So there is a USB-C to headphone jack adapter in here. Obviously there's no headphone jack. When you want to use wired headphones, this is going to be what you use. And then of course with the charging brick that's also in here, that's alongside the plug adapter, which I'm actually kind of surprised is outfitted for American plugs. By the way, the liquid cooling 3.0 does have a couple of different chambers. One of them is right next to the charging port, which allows it to get up to 27 watts of fast charging. And that also allows the phone to charge effectively when you are gaming. So even if you're gaming for about half an hour, you could get 10 to 15% more battery life, even though you're doing something intensive like playing a game. Now that might be the unboxing experience, but I actually have a couple other bits and pieces to reveal to you in this video, including another case. There's a reason why I didn't put the case onto the phone just yet. This is one of the two gamepad controllers that slot right into this case, communicate with the phone, and you have basically an Android switch of sorts. There you go. This is the right side. You have a touchpad right here with A, B, X, Y available, and of course you have the shoulder buttons up at the top with a very satisfying click. Like this is highly tactile. It's got a nice little tactile bump to that. And here is the controller with the D-pad. So you'll be able to map all of these buttons depending on what application you're using. Let's say you're using maybe an emulator. You can of course map it that way. Or there's going to be a piece of software that allows you to map it to the touchscreen controls depending on the game you're playing. Ooh. Born to compete. Oof. Oh. Okay, so you had that splash screen that was very gamer-esque. It had some neon green to it, and then you get into a typical Android welcome screen. As I'm trying to connect to the Wi-Fi in this hotel, I can just tell you right off the bat, this phone is heavy. This is not a light phone, and you even have this green LED over here on the side. Oh man, that's super cool. Again, this phone is just not apologetic. It's unapologetic about exactly what it is meant to be for, and that is a gaming phone. This is a gaming laptop in smartphone form. Wow, this already looks pretty awesome. Thank God the Play Store is in here, Google Play Services, so I can go ahead and get some games installed on here. So the game dock, it looks like is going to just be an easy way of getting to some settings. You also have a floating window, so you can monitor some of the other things like the frame rate. Okay, so we're already going through some of the settings for gaming. It's great that it's just right there. There is one more thing here. There's the light settings. You can actually change the logo on the back so it can breathe a certain amount of colors. So this particular portion right here, the Black Shark logo, that's one light. But then you have these LEDs here on the side that could be toggled for various functions. Like for example, if there's a call coming in, you'll be able to see it from this side. You'll also be able to see it from that side. By the way, an operating system that is supposed to be all about gaming would be called Joy UI. I kind of like that, if I'm honest. All right. It took a little bit of time and honestly a lot of my data to finally get all of these different games installed. Now, I already tried playing a couple of them just coming straight from the Android interface, but of course we have the Shark space. That's what we want to see. So let's go ahead and get this toggle flipped. And here comes the Shark mode. So you already saw in the bottom corner there that a bunch of RAM was freed up in the background. That way it is able to free up a lot of the memory for these games. That way it's able to give all of its resources to it. So a couple of things real quick. Let's go ahead and go into a couple of the settings. It does automatically find the different games that I've installed. I'm going to install, or rather put on the controllers. in a little bit, but first I wanted to play a game where it's not really required. So let's start off with Shin Megami Tensei. So that was a battle in Shin Megami Tensei DX2. I do have it set at high graphics quality, and yeah, it didn't seem like there were any stutters or lag or anything like that, unless it had to do with data, because I'm trying to download things using my VPN here. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of that one, and when I hit the home button, it goes back to the shark space because, again, this is literally a mode of the phone that basically just puts it into a gaming mode. There's really nothing playing in the background, nothing going on, and I can just turn on these games at will. So let's try one more. Let's do Hitman Sniper. So while we're bringing up Hitman Sniper, I've actually never played this game before. I've been wanting to try it out. If I were to swipe down, you probably saw earlier the game dock. I'm just going to bring that up real quick. So Sniper, Gamer Studio, all of the different options that are available. I have no notifications on, so I'm not going to get interrupted at all. I don't have the gamepad on just yet, but if I go to performance, it actually gives me a lot to look at. So we have the CPU load. Obviously, nothing's really going on with the CPU. There's not a lot playing because we're in the shark space. If I go into this process manager, I can actually see all of the stuff that's going on in the background. Not a whole lot going on. Of course, Google Fi, that's what I'm using to even do any of this data, and a key pass just to get into a few accounts in order for me to log in. But that's about it. Those are the only things that are going on in the background. All of the RAM is pretty much freed up. There's only 8% of it being used even. So that's the kind of control that you're afforded in order to get the best experience for games. That must be a guard. There's a guard. All right, let's finally get these gamepads on. So you do have to use this case, and the case allows for the gamepad sides to slot into the sides. So that's kind of an ingenious way of adding kind of a switch type of gamepad experience on there. But here is the case. One side available. It's just going to slot into this particular portion. There you go. And then the other one is going to be over here. Okay, so here's the thing. It took me a while to find these, but here on the bottom, there are these USB-C ports for both of the gamepads. They do work rather independently. So if I were to turn on one on this side with that little switch, the light turns on here, and I'll do the same on the other side. And there are going to be batteries in them that deplete over time, so I do have to get them charged up if the battery ever does die and I want to continue playing with the gamepads. Select the Bluetooth device, that would be the left gamepad. It knows that one is for the left is connected. And then for the right gamepad, the right is connected. We are good to go. All right, I had to try out some PUBG. So I'm not great at this game. I'm actually very inexperienced when it comes to it. As you can already tell, I'm super green. I have a very new character, but I just wanted to sort of illustrate where the controls come into play. So we have obviously the gamepad on here, and there's a mode here where if I were to hold the right button, not the trigger, but the button, then I get a cursor, and that's when I can use the touchpad in order to press on things. So that way I can actually navigate without having to reach in and use the touchscreen. So I already have graphics on high. I'm gonna head over to controls, and this is where we can change some stuff. So this is already pretty overwhelming for me, but I'm gonna do my best to kind of go through this. There's gonna be a lot of tinkering, a lot of customization that's needed with the Black Shark 2 in order to get the best possible experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this left button right here, and you see all of the controls appear here on the top left side. All right, so right trigger would be fire, or maybe exit could be left trigger. Let's use that as getting all of the items. For this one, we'll look at the bag. Okay, a lot of you out there are probably screaming at me right now, but I just want to get into a game right now so that we can try this out. So I'm gonna hit save. So of course I have the touchpad as looking around, so that's easy. And then movements over here. I should probably put, this is that crucial moment where you want to be able to change things around in case you need to. So if All right, here we go. So as long as you're able to change up as long as you're able to pause the game, or maybe you're just going to have to blow one of the sessions in certain games, you can hit the left button here and be able to map everything pretty easily. The overlay is in there. That's, I believe, partially why you have the shark space. Oh, of course. Of course I'm already gonna die. Oh, I need something. He's gonna come in here and kill me. A crossbow. This crossbow is not good. This is the worst. Oh, I got a kill. Sweet. All right, I'm already feeling pretty good. This is good. Controllers definitely help with with a game like this. So I think the main takeaway here is that you should just make sure to map everything, and it could work really well. I mean, you just saw it right now in that session. The controllers work well. The game is running at a high clip even while I'm using all of my data using my Google Fi SIM card. Yeah, and this is already going to be a much better experience than the typical touchscreen controls for something like PUBG, which a lot of people kind of complain. They want to have a controller experience with it, and this Black Shark 2 is very specially suited to bring that. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing. I just wanted to give you that first look, some reactions to some games on the Black Shark 2. There are, of course, a few other things that I didn't really touch upon, like the Master Touch and even the Ludicrous mode, but getting into the shark space already frees up some of the memory, so that's a really good thing to have. That way you can have all of the memory available for the games and the intensive things you might be doing on here. Hopefully I don't die too quickly, and I've already gotten a couple of kills, so that's already fun. But in any case, look forward to my full review of the Black Shark 2. And if you want to get a more standard hands-on of this phone, you can head over to Pocket Now, of course, and then stay tuned for my review and the review on Pocket Now as well. There's going to be a lot of coverage of this phone because this thing is fun, and it's very exciting, and it's really trying hard to be the proper gaming phone. In any case, I'm just going to call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to both of our channels if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll just remind you until the next video, or until I get a kill, another kill or get killed, to remind you to enjoy your tea, everybody. I'm already so flustered. Got a rifle there. Oh, snap. Where's that coming from? Yeah, I got another kill. All right. I'm definitely doing a lot better than I thought I was. And the camera hasn't died yet, even though it's telling me that the low battery is there. So I'm just going to keep playing until the camera dies.